Now, the topic of study today is social class as a kind of stratification in the society. You must have known about the social class and must have heard about this term several times. It's also considered as a prime system or base of stratification of various societies, especially the entire Europe has been divided on the base of different classes. According to Ogburn and Nimkoff, a social class is an aggregate of persons who essentially have the same social status in a given society. A social class is a group of people who share similar internal as well as external unity. External unity means similarity in language, in dress, customs, and the other socio-cultural factors. Internal unity means the unity in thoughts, ideals, and perceptions, etc. Class is a kind of open stratification in which a person, through his efforts or hard work, can change his class during his lifetime. A person is not given a class by his birth but gains it through his efforts and through his hard work. Similarly, it can also be said that class is a kind of stratification which is more flexible and which is based on the achievements of the people living in society. According to McIver, he has also given the definition of social class in his own words. He says that a class is a portion of community marked off from the rest by social status. It has also been said by Lapierre that a social class is a culturally defined group that is accorded a particular position or status within the population as a whole. Concludingly, it can be said that a social class is a group of people who have a definite position or social status in a given society, because of which they have been given some privileges or opportunities, and there are also some restrictions imposed on them because of belonging to that class. And in each class there is a class consciousness and a specific culture. Now let's discuss about the characteristics of social class. Social class is a kind of division of society in which the people are divided in such a way that they get this or that class due to their own efforts. So we can say that class is something which is achieved and which is not ascribed by our ancestors or by heredity. In this way, it can also be said that class has an open stratification, which means that a person, if he gets a particular class or is born in a particular class, then he can change his class during his lifetime through his efforts and hard work. Then it can be said that class is a system in which there are opportunities to rise. So as we have discussed that there are chances of social mobility, a person can work hard, can through his hard work and patience and commitment, he can change his class from lower to higher, and he gets many opportunities in his life to change his class. Then people who belong to similar kind of classes, they follow a common mode of life. For example, the people who live in higher class, who belong to the higher class or higher group, they are the people who usually lead their life in a common way. Like if they have to travel, they would prefer to go by air because they can afford it. They would travel in cars, and they would travel in expensive cars or luxurious cars. Then we can say they must be living in high-rise apartments or bungalows. So this is the lifestyle which is common to a particular class people, that is known as the higher class. Similarly, people belonging to lower class mostly live in slum areas or chawls or small quarters. They uh, eat similar kind of food which is very cheap, or it is available in the market at very low cost. So in this way they have a similar lifestyle with their own class people. So it decides the mode of life of a person. Then we can say that there is less social distance between the various classes. The middle class can sit, interact, and engage into social intercourse with the higher class. Similarly, higher class can sit, interact, eat with the lower class. As you can take the example of various politicians eating and moving around with lower class people in order to extract votes from them, and it is something which is appreciated by the society as compared to the caste system, in which there are restrictions on dining and social intercourse. Class is much free and much open a system in which there is flexibility of social movement, and there is also flexibility of social interaction and social intercourse. Now, there are various kinds of classes which can be observed or seen in the society, but its bases are different. For example, on the basis of earning livelihood, there are three kinds of classes. The number one class is known as the business class, number two, the professional class, and number three, the labor class. Business class includes the high industrialists. Professional class consists of engineers, advocates, doctors, and the labor class, of course, the people who are engaged in construction activities or lower kind of jobs. Then, on the basis of economic conditions, classes have been divided again into three parts: the upper, the middle, and the lower. Upper class people are the people who are very rich and prosperous. The middle class are the people who are prosperous and they are able to make their ends meet prosperously. And the lower class people are the people who live in slums or the chawls or the small quarters, and it's very difficult for them to make their ends meet, and also they are not able to provide the various comforts and facilities of life to their families. And the third category is on the basis of educational achievements. Number one are the highly educated, number two the less educated, and number three are the uneducated people. So these are the various kinds of classes which exist in the society on the basis of social status.